Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I have been gone again, and I said, what happened to the SmackDown review? Look, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I do not have USA Network, I don't have cable. I have straight up YouTube and Peacock and everything, and I refuse to pay $82 to watch SmackDown. I'm sorry. I'm not. But what I've heard, SmackDown wasn't even that good anyway. But we're here for the Raw review. But before I get into the Raw review, I'm going to talk about a video that's been circulating around the wrestling community about this guy named Prograps. Now, I'm not going to classify myself into this group because guess what? I'm not a full-on wrestling YouTuber. Not yet. But, you know, he said a lot of things about creativity and stuff like that. So everybody's kind of up in arms about it. From a small afro, BDE. He said a lot of names in this video of, you know, like I said, Small Afro responded like almost I think it was an hour video. I watched half of his video and I watched some of Program's video. Like they said, they both made great points, but you know, overall I think it's kind of hard to be really creative in this space of wrestling because there's not a lot of things that's going on in it to make it creative, because everybody's going to talk about the same exact thing: the Raw review, SmackDown review, PLE reviews, and who's best, who's doing this, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, John Cena, you know, stuff like that, like how they would have booked Cena's heel turn or his heel run and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to be creative in this space because everybody's talking about the same exact things. I think you just have to put your own flavor on it, which I try to do. But my inspirations for, you know, starting this channel is from a long time ago where, you know, I saw CM Pulse doing WWE 2K14 universe modes, or WWE 13, and Tubby Emu, Tony Pizza Guy, Will Power. I can go on and on and on. But now we have a new generation of new WWE, you know, community creators, content creators. Like I said, the Small Afros, the BDEs, the Santi Zaps, the Wheezy Blondes, the Minis, all those, you know, content creators that are pretty much, you know, taking over now from people of the yesteryear, if you want to say that. Like I said, but CM Punk still does his videos, but he's more locked into his podcast with Tony Pizza Guy, and he has one other guy, I can't remember his name, but he's with them. But overall, I think nobody said anything wrong. I think everybody's kind of up in arms, like, hey, like what's up with the creativity, you know, and stuff like that. But like I said, it's kind of hard to have creativity in this type of thing where everybody talks about the same exact thing. I feel the same way about the NBA 2K community and everything else. So it's kind of hard, like I said, it's kind of hard to be creative in this space. But overall, other than that, we're going to get into the Raw review. So it starts off with Oba and Brock doing a weigh-in. Not sure. My whole thing of watching wrestling, I've never seen a weigh-in. I don't think I have. I've seen contract signings, that happens. But a whole weigh-in, and you can tell that Oba lost some weight, which I'm trying to do. But he lost some weight. Now, I'm not liking how they're booking Brock Lesnar as a coward. Of course, they get there, Oba gets into the ring, and they lower I think they lowered the cage after Oba got in, which was kind of, I didn't understand that. But Brock comes down and locks the cell and has the key, and he's walking around. And of course, Paul Heyman's popping his shit about Brock Lesnar, and his mic goes out, which is hilarious, but that happens. And the whole thing with it is just, I don't understand. Like I said, as much as we've seen Brock do a lot of extraordinary things in the business, why is he being booked like a cat, like he's scared of Oba? When I've seen this man go toe-to-toe with Undertaker a couple times and actually beat Taker a couple times and beat Super Cena and just dominated a whole year, and he's, you know, scared of Oba. I feel like they, you know, that's why I feel like he's retiring after SummerSlam, and it's gonna be his hometown. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be his last match, because, you know, think about it, like when Oba and them first kind of came together, Oba was getting over on Brock Lesnar every single time, pretty much, and it was always getting physical. Now it's not even getting physical anymore. You know, Brock, you know, does his little one-liners and kicks him in the nuts and runs off. I'm like, I don't, you know, Brock Lesnar can do a lot of things. I mean, he's older, but he's still Brock fucking Lesnar. So that whole little thing, like I said, nothing much just stood out in this Raw. Like, it was pretty much promotional packages for SummerSlam. You know, so SummerSlam is this weekend, which I will be watching. You know, I'm kind of like, what else happened after that, really? I mean, we had the same match with the Vision versus Alpha Academy. You know, same thing, just different days with different dates, I would say. Nothing really just stood out. You know, same thing. I feel like they're going to just cultivate in Alpha Academy actually being the Vision for the championships. I'd rather see it at a Raw than a PLE, because if it goes to a PLE, it's kind of expected. I say Raw because I think it gets more of an organic reaction out of the whole building. So I think that's what that's going to cultivate at. I feel bad for Braun Breaker because Braun Breaker has went from up here to pretty much down here into the tag division. I think he's gonna be there until Bronson comes back, which should be soon. And you know, Logan Paul's still on the shelf, but I think he's gonna come back pretty soon too. So he's probably gonna be down there for a while. I hope he's able to take over after SummerSlam, because he was on a fast track on becoming World Heavyweight Championship. I think after this whole little Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns thing dies down, I think he's gonna go after Roman Reigns finally. People think Seth is gonna win. I don't think so. I think he like literally Roman just won that title like April. I think he just hit 100 days as champion not too long ago. So I don't think he's not giving up the title that soon. But after that, you know, like I said, the tag match, and after that, you saw I'm gonna say Javon versus Rusev, which I like that match. I really like how they're doing Javon as of late. You know, I'm kind of sad they didn't put him in the Unreal documentary at all. Like him, you know, it was more focused on Oba and Trick, but already covered that. But I'm kind of upset they didn't really put him in there at all. But that match was great. Everything that Javon Evans is doing in the ring is great. Like he's actually withstanding the accolade, and it's kind of crazy because I think how skinny that man is, but he's very, very long. It was kind of weird. So he beat him like clean. He beat him clean. Overall, great match. Everybody's kind of up in arms about it on Twitter because after the match, you know, we go to break after Raw. We go to break, but everybody, you know, who's there in the arena itself, you see people taking pictures of him after Rusev lost. He just bolts out the fucking ring and goes to the back. So everybody thinks he's furious about him jobbing out to Javon Evans, which I don't think he's jobbing out at all. But whatever, I don't know what that's about. I guess we'll find out later this week or so. But we had a concert with Danhausen and Joe Hendry, which Ryan Garcia came in and beat the shit out of Joe Hendry and Danhausen, which is going to cultivate in a match between Danhausen versus Dominic Mysterio for Human Monies. Human Monies on a pole match, okay. I don't know how, okay, I'll take it. After that, I think we had Sol Ruca versus Raquel Rodriguez for the IC title. And that match was pretty good. Of course, you know, she didn't win clean. But Raquel Rodriguez is our new IC title holder. What does this mean for Sol Ruca? I don't know. I wasn't expecting her to lose the title so soon because I think she just won it at Clash in Paris against Becky. We haven't seen Becky in a while, so I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know what Raw has going on. I'm not upset that she won because, you know, Raquel definitely deserves it. I think she got it before Sol Ruca, in my opinion, but, you know, we're here now. And then after that, we had Seth versus Roman. Of course, war of words, which cultivated them going back and forth until Roman had enough of it and punched Seth and hit him with a Superman punch and a spear. And of course, Roman Reigns, so entitled by a chair, he wants to give Seth Rollins back shots. I'm just going to say it right now. He wants to give Seth Rollins back shots with the chair. Cultivates and him getting stomped out on the chair. And this is the fast track until SummerSlam because they're going to main event night 2. And CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are going to main event night 1. And even Oba and Brock is going to be on night 1. So other than that, nothing really much happened on Raw. Everybody's kind of shitting on it because it was much more of a SummerSlam package and an ad package. And we had, 3 matches? And everything else, everybody was just talking. But other than that, I ain't got really much else to say. Like I said, a Progress video, I'm not going to cultivate myself into it because, like I said, I'm not a top creator. And I don't really feel any way because right now this is a hobby. Like I said, I hope to take this a little bit deeper so I can get paid to, you know, talk about wrestling because I like wrestling. But, you know, that whole thing now is just kind of like, you know, people just want to be creative, but it's kind of hard. Like I said, it's kind of hard to be creative in this space when everybody talks about the same exact thing pretty much every day. From Tiny Zep, he's putting out daily videos every single day. And I understand Small Afro's opinion on it because, like, hey, you can't just keep down talking me when other creators doing the same thing, you know, but that's just me. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. I will come back sometime, maybe tomorrow. We're going to see what we can talk about because I don't know what to talk about. I have another thing coming up that I'm very excited about. I'm going to go see a house, a very famous house. If you know, you know. But we're going to be doing that soon. I'm going to be filming it. Hopefully I don't get kicked off the property. But it's a very famous house that I'm going to talk about soon. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. And I will see you guys later.